Why do they never go in for me? Hey music lovers, yes, I'm back again with another vinyl watch. I haven't made too many videos the last couple of weeks because of the World Cup. I've been watching nearly every match. I think I've only missed about 2 or 3 or something. I've been going back on iPlayer and watching the rest of them. So apologies for not making too many videos. I know I've got to do the next instalment of my indie videos, but to make up, here's a Wodge. Now this is a Wodge that I picked up. When did I actually pick this up? Probably on Valentine's Day actually, so we're only nearly 5 months out overdue on these particular records. I am trying to make my way through, but there's some really good stuff in this batch, so please stay tuned to find out. So I'm going to start off with a fabulous record. At the start of the year when I did my vinyl tag, I said that the one area of music I really wanted to explore more was African music. Now, I don't know what it is, but around where I live, African music on vinyl, in fact African music full stop, doesn't really come easy. Apart from Ladysmith Black and Bazo CDs, really. That's about all I see. I've got some Yusir and Dor CDs, but vinyl, very scanty, until I saw this. So this is Manu Dibango, Sun Explosion, I think it's called. Is it called Sun Explosion? Yep, Sun Explosion. This is a brilliant piece of Afro-funk. I mean, rocky Afro-funk. I think this is brilliant. Released in '78 on Decca. Manu Dibango is still alive. He's now 84. Comes from Cameroon. There's the label. Lovely old Decca type label, which you don't see anymore. Fabulous stuff. I was absolutely blown away by this. I played this over and over again for a while. I love that cover. Isn't that a great cover? So only 4 tracks, so they're all extended workouts. They're all at least like 6-7 minutes long and longer. Anti, Matumba, Motapo and Sun Explosion. Don't really know anything about it. Don't know who played on it because there's very little information on the sleeve. But absolutely love it. This is a great album. Really enjoyed that. Right, keeping on with the funky stuff, I picked up, same day, this is all the same day, I picked all this up on Valentine's Day. Must have just been put out. Average White Band, Cut the Cake. This is really good. I always stayed off Average White Band. I didn't go for them because I thought they would kind of be more like a sort of Shack Attack, real looky, jazz funky kind of stuff that I really don't like. But this is funk. This is funky. So it's got the big hit, Cut the Cake. Came with the insert, which is quite nice. With the band and the lyrics. I'm not that bothered. It sounds great. Really sounded great. On a quite beat up. The record plays fine, but the label's really beat up. I don't know what's happened there. Don't think there's water damage on the record. The cover looks alright. But both sides, the label's beat up, and it's not me cleaning it either. It was like that when I got it. Record plays fine though. Sounds great. Really great. So I've heard that early Average White Band is good. It tailed off quite badly around 1980, so I'm going to be careful if I get any more, but this is 75 and it was superb. One more funky type album, which I think, yeah, this is an upgrade copy. I saw it for £1 and thought, right, I'm going to get it again. So this is Commodore's Midnight Magic. Now, if you discount the 2 obviously syrupy, gooey ballads by, what's his face? You know who I mean. Lionel Richie. This is really good. There's an awful lot of decent enough funky tracks on here, like Getting It, Midnight Magic. Also Special Still is one of the syrupy ballads. Sail On is another one. Sexy Lady, Wonderland. There's some really good stuff on here. So if you see this for £1, if you ignore the syrupy crap, there's enough on here to make it a worthwhile listen. I really enjoyed listening to this. There we go. Right, bit of a change of pace. Also picked up this, Best of Status Quo. Now this is a compilation of their Pie stuff. Oh, hold on. I am starting, for those people who love labels, I am trying to show labels. Let me just go back. So this is on that 80s Motown label. Probably the one that I'm most familiar with. I'm more familiar with that because of when I grew up than I am with the classic Motown, Tamla Motown label. Right, so back again. Right, so Quo on Pie, Best of. So we've got things like, it doesn't include their first 2 psych albums that they recorded. This is when they started getting more of a boogie band on Mark Kelly's Greasy Spoon and Dog of Two Heads. So most of the tracks come from those. I think there's some singles tracks on here as well. So Down in the Dust Pipe, In My Chair, which were both hit, I think top 40 singles, I think. April Spring, Someone Wednesdays, Mean Girl, Spinning Wheel Blues, Railroad. So it's the start of their boogie stuff before they really took off in with, I guess Pile Driver was the first really big hit they had. Was it Pile Driver? Would that be it? Probably was. But anyway, great stuff, great stuff. And for £1 more, oh, this was in a separate shop. I actually paid £2.50 more. Oh, £2.50 for this. And it's Tom Robinson's band TRB2. The one after they had the hits. So it hasn't got Glad to Be Gay on it, and it hasn't got 2468 Motorway on it. But this is a surprisingly solid album. It's a good, solid, kind of pub rocky, new wavy type album. Really good, lyrically pretty strong. I mean, Tom Robinson was always there politically. So there's the inner. And the what's great about the inside, the inner sleeve, was get active. Look at that. There's a whole list. I mean, I don't know how many of these are still going. But there's a whole list of agencies and groups that you could help to, I presume if you're on the left side of this political spectrum, get in touch with. So you've got people like Amnesty, obviously still going, Advisory Service for Squatters, Black People's Information Centre, CND, Civil Liberties, Spare Rib for women, Rock Against Racism. So it's rock with a social conscience, which you cannot discount at all. So this was a good record. I enjoyed that. Right, this next record, I did enjoy it, but it kind of threw more light onto another couple of another artist that I really like, far more than I thought it would. So this is Ricky Lee Jones' Pirates. I do like this album. It sounds really good. But, my goodness, does Edie Brickell sound like Ricky Lee Jones? So this album, the way she sings, is such a direct influence on the way Edie Brickell sings on that and that. And I love both, especially this one. I played this so much. So it was a shock to hear this one sounding so, well, it was a shock that this one sounded so much like that one, even down to the kind of jazziness of it and the whoops and squeals and stuff. So I can appreciate this more for what led to that rather than as a thing in itself. I really do need to listen to this way more. That is some picture of it though, isn't it? What's the label? Oh, it's just on a bog standard Warner Brothers. Here we go. So yeah, I really need to listen to Pirates way more, because as I said, astounded by how closely Edie Brickell. Oh, and if you haven't heard that, hear that. That's a brilliant album. Love that album. Right. Okay. Next up is another female artist. Canadian this time. This is Jane Siberry. Don't know how she. This is A Speckless Sky. This is the second album I've got by her. Really good stuff. Kind of Kate Bushish in places. It's definitely on that more experimental side of pop, and it's got some really good sounds on it. Came with a lovely little booklet with the lyrics and some info on the back. I really like her stuff. I'm definitely going to look out for more. There's the label, Jane Siberry. There she goes. So it's blue on one side and yellow on the other. So that one's quite cool. I'm sure there are Canadian people out there who could tell far more than I can. Thoroughly enjoyed that one though. Speckless Sky. And she looks great on the cover as well. I really like that cover shot. Rain across the ground. I don't know what she's up to there, but I really like it. This next one, I think, is an absolute masterpiece. I have just been so struck by this record. Never heard it before, which is probably to my utter undying shame. But this record is brilliant. So this is Eden by Everything But the Girl. Their debut album. Absolutely fantastic. I can't get over how good this is. Maybe it's because it's such a lovely, light, bright, jazzy album. It totally fits with the weather we've got in the UK at the moment, which has been so hot for so long. Well, not so hot. I mean, it's not like 40 degrees or anything. But for the UK, it has been so lovely and warm for such a long time. At least 6 to 8 weeks now. This just fits so well. Later, Everything But the Girl, I have kind of problem with. I have a problem with I've forgotten her names. Tracy Thorn's vocals, actually. You see, she's not the most expressive of singers. She's kind of very monotonous when she's singing. Now, when it's coupled with the kind of light, breezy, jazzy pop on this album, it works a treat. But for me, when they went kind of electronic, it just, for me, it didn't work. I thought it was just boring and dull. I mean, I know they said they sold shed loads of records, but this is way better than that. If you ever want to hear an Everything But the Girl album, get this one. This is brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Oh, label. And yeah, just got a label. I don't have an inner sleeve of this one. So there we go. I think is that a stock Blanco y Negro label. I think it might be. I'm sure I've seen that one before. There we go. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. Seriously can't get over how good that is. And the cover, I've got to mention the cover actually. This cover feels like wallpaper. You know, that kind of flocky type thick wallpaper. It's got such a lovely texture to it. It feels as if it's made out of wallpaper. I could just, oh yeah, there we go. Right, enough of that. Enough of that fondling. Next up, we'll go hit the mid-80s. So first up is ABC with Alphabet City. So the big hit on here was When Smokey Sings. Now this is a good album. It's not their best. In fact, of the first four, it's probably the worst. But that doesn't mean there's not some really good moments on it. When When Smokey Sings was a big single. The Night You Murdered Love was good. Things like King Without a Crown. Some really good stuff on here. So by this point it was only the two of them, really. Well, I think the album I'm really looking out for by this lot, this band, is How to Be a Zillionaire. I finally got a copy of their first album arriving soon. Finally got it. I bought one. So I can give it a proper listen. Got Beauty Stab. Want Zillionaire so badly. I've seen copies of it, but they've always been scratched and stuff. So, come on, Zillionaire. I've got to get a copy of Zillionaire. Fine addition to the collection. Probably the worst album, but that doesn't mean it's a bad album. Worst album of the original 4 of their albums, but that does not mean it's a bad album at all. We got, with lyrics, and then it's just very simple label. There you go, the kind of blue folds that are on the cover. Very soul, 60s soul influence, this album. I kind of like, Zillionaire to me is like it's almost a grail now. It's getting stupid. I've got to get a copy. It should be easy to get. It's not going to be hard to get. I could go online and pay stupid money for one and get it, but that's not the point. I don't like doing that if I can help it. Certain things I might do, but I don't like to. So I'm waiting. Beauty Stab is a fabulous album. Brilliant album. Underrated album. There we go. Use the word underrated. I'm not using overrated though. I'm going to use that one. Get into too much trouble. So, fantastic stuff. Also picked this up. Pete Wiley, Sinful. How did that end up for £1 in a charity shop? So this has got the big single, Sinful, which was a top 20 hit. 85? 84, 85, 84? The album is okay. It's not fantastic. It's got a lot of that mid-80s production on it. The songs aren't that memorable, apart from Sinful. It's okay. Released on Eternal through Siren Records. Let's get that there. There we go. So that's a label on that one. It's enjoyable enough, and I will play it again sometime. But there are other records that really overshadow it in this batch. Oh, Manu Dibango and Everything But the Girl. Ooh. Right, just round off with a quick 12-inch. So I picked this up at the same time. So this is Cinderella off their first album, Long Cold Winter. You got the ballady Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, which is a good track. Supposed to be a glitter patch in here, but I couldn't see it. I think that's well gone. Unless it's in there. No, it's well disappeared. On the late 80s Vertigo. No swell. That was the worst thing they ever did, Vertigo, was remove the swell. Such a stupid move. But it is quite unusual because it is a gatefold 12-inch. You've got a lovely picture of the band there. Where are we? There we go. Look at that. Lovely. Good live tracks on the B-side, actually. Push Push and Once Around the Ride. Recorded in Tokyo. They were really good. Fire and Ice, a good track as well. I really need some Cinderella on vinyl. Long Cold Winter is a great album. I'm pretty sure I've got it on CD. I can't remember or not. Hope I have. Anyway, got a bit on 12-inch. There's Cinderella. Right. So there we go. Another vinyl watch. I didn't realise it had been a week since the last one. So there you go. You never know. I might even upload another video later on. If I get my act together and do the next instalment of my British Indie and Me series. I do have some inspiration because James Griffiths and Jodion have updated their latest collaboration, and it is sort of connected to where I want to go next with it. So stay tuned for that. So thanks everybody. Thanks to the new subscribers since the last video. Love it that you join us here on this little channel. And stay tuned for more incredibly incredible content. Thank you ever so much, VC. And anybody else who wants to watch these videos. Cheers, everybody. Bye.